Yeah, he's pretty good, I think. I don't know, that's what people are telling me. So yeah. I mean, they got a good team over there. And I think we're all really excited to be able to play them. So that's gonna be a great matchup for us.
I think that's the one. He's the guy when you talk about them as a defense, the first guy people think of. But you see it from a different perspective than we would. Why is he so good?
I think he has a great understanding of football. You can kind of tell he has a great football IQ. He also is able to kind of freelance a little bit in their defense and be able to make plays. And that's kind of one of the things I see is he's a great player, has great ability, great strength, great power, speed, you name it, and knows how to work his hands. So it's going to be a great test for our offensive line, and I think we're all really excited to have that opportunity.
That's my follow-up is that I doubt that it's a plan where you have to think, I got to beat this guy one-on-one every single play. It's a team effort to block someone like that. Can you walk us through the communication involved, and obviously you got to get guys healthy, that sort of stuff, to have your best chance to move the football?
Yeah, I think for us as offensive line, we approach it as if we do what we're supposed to do and use our technique, that nobody can really beat us. I think we've shown that this year where when we do the things the right way and the way they should be done and we're all on the same page, it's hard to stop our offense. And for us, that's kind of one of the things that we take pride in is how can you do your job more consistently, especially as this year has gone on, the weeks start growing and growing. So for us, we know he's a great player and he's going to have a hell of a career at the next level. So it's how can we out-execute him, play in and play out.
Luke, I think this is your 26th start at Ohio State. First time you'll be an underdog.
Yeah.
What's that feel like for you personally to be an underdog finally, and maybe the vibe from the team that you guys are finally in the
we
underdog
love that.
role?
I think, you give anyone the opportunity. I always love being the underdog in any situation. I think this team's going to thrive off that too, and I think it has been the past few days in practice, weeks in practice now. You can kind of tell the intensity's a little different, the vibe's a little different. Everybody's kind of moving with a different sense of purpose, and that underdog feeling is something that, like, you can't make up in a regular season game when we're playing against some teams. So now that we really feel like we got something to prove, and I think that's really kind of giving everyone a little extra to motivation for every practice.
Luke, what was the day of the Michigan loss? What were your emotions that afternoon, that night?
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough loss. Just defeated. I mean, we lost. I mean, that's kind of it, really. I mean, they won, we lost, and something to keep in the back of your mind.
How long does it take to get out of that funk? Do you ever really get out of it? Do you still feel some of those same emotions today, or a lot of those same emotions?
Yeah, I don't think that ever leaves. Yeah.
Some of the defensive guys were talking about big plays that were allowed in that game. From an offensive perspective, what do you think you guys could have done better against Michigan to change that result?
Executed. There's a few plays you saw where it was like one away, one thing went wrong, and if it went right, what could have been. So, it's only almost only counts in horseshoes and grenades. So for us, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, what if? But we didn't execute, and they executed better.
You guys put so much on that game. I mean, there's a theory that, not that you put too much on it, but that you play a little tight because it especially coming off last year, that it meant so much.
I didn't really feel that way. I played loose. I played how I normally play. It didn't get the job done. So it's where did things go wrong, where did things go right, and what can you improve on?
Not that you need any more motivation, but the specter of playing them in the final potentially, and you'll know before you play your game.
Yeah, that's everyone I think kind of thinks about the what if there, but right now all we're focused on is beating Georgia, because it doesn't matter if they win and we lose, we won't have the opportunity unless we beat Georgia.
Of course, you probably didn't want it to come against Michigan, but do you think maybe going into this game with a loss already acts as maybe a sobering moment, a cold splash of water before you play one of the best teams in football?
Yeah, I think anytime you take a loss like we did against a team up north, it kind of, like you said, kind of it's a nice cold splash of water, makes you kind of recalibrate where you're at and things you need to improve on, and some areas of the game of like what you're missing and what you need to get better.
Going back to Michigan and then playing before you guys, is it something, because their game will end like right in the lead up to, the Georgia game. So do you even want to know the result before, or do you want to totally shut it out, or do you want to know, I guess, where do you stand on that?
I don't think it matters. We got to play our game regardless. So if they win, they lose, anything in between, it doesn't really matter. As long as we play our game and everyone does their job, it doesn't really matter to us.
I think maybe a few people lost a sense of what Ohio State's game, or as you said, our game is after that Michigan game. What would you say to refresh us? What does Ohio State do that matches up particularly well against Georgia?
I think that we have one of the most athletic offenses in the country. From an offensive standpoint, I think we play hard, we play fast, we're able to stretch you, we're able to punch you, we're able to throw it over your head, and I'm hoping that's something we can showcase.